Who is Jenny on a spiritual level? Okay, fucking late, a hot mess, but we laugh at everything. And we're real sad, but we're cute. This is definitely some heavy chicken nugget talk. I'm hungry. I need my chicken nuggets.
No, I love it. It's fine.
I don't know, dude. You gotta give me like say a word, and I just like really hard.
Hilarious. Are you ready?
Those all questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
I can throw it down.
Okay. What's your name?
Jenny.
And how old are you?
I'm 26. My birthday was Sunday. Can you even hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so 26-year-old Jenny. Mm-hmm. Who are you on a soul level?
A chicken lover.
Like actual chickens and chicken nuggets.
Yes. Who am I on a soul level?
This is amazing.
I don't know, just someone who's trying to figure it out. Or just, I think I'm much more relaxed than I used to be. Yeah, we're just floating, eating chicken nuggets.
True.
Living our best self life. Oh my god, that's the worst.
No, it's okay. This is great. You're doing great.
All right.
So, are there anything?
We're doing solid.
Is there? This is great already. Is there anything going on right now, or anything that's happened in your life that kind of affect who you are and your ways of thinking and like how you process things?
This is definitely some heavy chicken nugget talk. Yeah, I mean, I have had a lot of situations in my life at an early age, and also obviously up until my whole life. I've had a lot of situations that molded my perspective in a drastically different way than what they started as. I think when you're younger, and I actually learned this from a doctor, there's like a hierarchy of needs, and to like give a kid like a decent shot at life, they have to have certain needs met. And when I was younger, some of my needs weren't being met because of some of the things that were going on in my childhood. And so out produced me, this crazy teenager, young adult, and my perspective was very skewed on the world. And I mean, there's just so many different situations, but a lot of them included, abuse, addiction, alcoholism, with myself, within my family, within the people that I surrounded myself with. Once I stopped drinking, I met other sober people. And I've always been heavily, yanked, like influenced and ripped about by people's choices and people's feelings and the way that other people live their lives. So when I'd have a belief and somebody would do something that didn't fit into that box that I had learned from a young age or a young adult, my perspective drastically whiplashed. That's a better word. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of a solid summary, I guess, without going too far into that.
Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 categories that you're probably very familiar with because you actually watch my videos. And
yeah, I love your videos. They're fantastic. So you're going to be famous.
Thank you.
You're fucking famous. For sure.
So the 3 categories, and you can mix and match them however you want to. It's love, sex, relationships, society, culture, politics, and spirituality and religion. So which mean the most to you and which kind of take a back seat in your life?
I think they definitely all mean a lot to me. Mm-hmm. I think that I focus, interesting question. I guess love, sex, and relationships is where I put a significant amount of my energy into, and what I think has provided the most change in my life, that whiplash back and forth. Spirituality and religion, I got lots of views on that, but that's more of like who you are and like what drives you to like, why did that person just do that dumbass thing, or like why is this good thing happening? So I always try and nurture my soul and my understanding, because like I said, I'm just drastically like, I get thrown around by other people in those relationships and love and all that stuff. And then politics and society and ethics. I mean, we were talking out on the porch, probably should have started recording then, about, you know, why people do the things that they do. I had a really hard time for a long time with when people would take certain actions that I wouldn't necessarily take. I didn't understand why. And what I've seen over the past couple years with all of this frustration with politics and racism, sexism, all these different things, is people really believe that they're doing the right thing. So if you look at these three categories, you know, you have people that like a human being just wants to be loved. Even the most like ugly, weird ass people, they just want to be loved, right? So like they believe a certain thing, right? Because like everyone believes in something, even if what you believe in is nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody believes in something, and that's what drives people to like react or like buy somebody flowers, or like why people choose to like stay in their house and like not do anything. And then politics is when we say, hello, my way is the best, let's all do it. Like that's kind of how I view it. And like we live in America, so we can like do whatever, like not do whatever we want, that's not what we can do. You have all these different people with these like massively conflicting ideas, and they all think that they're right, and they all think they've experienced the most grief, the most love, the most money, the most success, whatever. And they think that like if everyone just listened to them, and like you're wrong, like I don't even want to hear what you have to say, or like how much you love your family or what you've been through, I'm right and I'm gonna help you. And like I don't think I like answered the question, but like they're all just very, very important. And I was very up to date on politics when I was in high school, even when I was actively drinking. U.S. government was the only class I passed. I stole a bunch of textbooks from my my high school and my college, because I think it's very interesting to understand why people believe the things they do.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But I'm definitely not as up to date as I would like to be, because honestly, some of that shit hurts. Like, my belief is just, like, I literally believe, like, empathy is the cure to everything. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, I don't know what somebody else is talking about when they're talking about, like, just the different lives and situations and things that people have gone through. Like, I don't get a say.
Right.
I can access empathy to make myself more willing to understand and see how I can help. If that kind of makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
But I am a little bit embarrassed about how uninformed I am with all of the current events, but also with freaking social media. Like, and I was thinking about this earlier, like, because I know you, like, bring up, like, what would restore, like, you know, the connection. I don't think we ever had any. Like, I know I'm hopping, but, like, it kind of goes into, like, politics and, like, social media. Like, there was always wild shit happening. We just couldn't see it. And, like, even when you sit at home and you, like, watch the news and you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe that happened, like, 3 streets down. Like, still, even though you're seeing it and you're knowing that it's happening, like, how much shit happened that we didn't know because we didn't have access to the information by, like, tweet or, like, Instagram or, like, Facebook or whatever. So I think that, like, with politics, what they've done is they've, like, started an era of, like, mass information, some wildly incorrect that gets spread, and some, like, very important information that, like, it's making people's brains, like, spin. So you have these wild ass people that are coming out about their beliefs, and we're like, how do you even check out at the same Safeway as me? I don't shop at Safeway, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do we even, like, exist in the same space? You know what I mean? But it's like people feel more comfortable to share their opinions, and, like, I try to be very careful with when I say that somebody is wrong. I think there are certain things like absolutely that are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But me saying that somebody's, even if it's the most ignorant shit, that they're wrong, we're not, what is that going to do? They truly believe that they are correct. So like, how do I meet them? Let me talk to them more. Let me figure out why they have that belief. Let me figure out, you know, and I'm not here to fix. I'm just here to kind of, like I said, I'm just flowing. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, there are certain things I believed a couple years ago that like I do not believe anymore.
Right.
Like, I think the age that we're in is just so like, there's just, I don't know, energy. There's just so many resources and things going around that people are more apt to change because of that whiplash. Do you know what I mean? That young people, old people. Could you imagine being an old person right now?
They're probably happy they're almost done.
I mean, yeah, this shit's crazy.
Kind of over it.
Computers.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Social media, Facebook.
Yeah.
People that are messaging their grandsons, but really they're writing on a wall. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
How do you work it? You know, but just people that are getting called out for being racist and they don't understand why. Like, I kind of brought that up earlier. I have views about that. You know, I have a family member who. It's my grandma. I'm just going to say it. She's probably not going to watch this. But I think I didn't understand her views on certain things in the world, but it's really just because she didn't know. She had never been around it. And then you have all these youngsters, you know what I mean? And back in her day, you sit down, you keep your mouth shut, you dress nice.
Yeah.
And you say, okay. And you just let the information and the ignorance seep in. But like, my grandmother is a fantastic woman, and the more she's been exposed to the world and gay people, trans people. We had a trans person that lived with us a couple years ago. I've gotten tattoos. My mother's gotten tattoos. Black people, Asian people, whatever it is. She's like, that's not so scary.
Exposure.
Now there are racist people, and that's like hardcore. That's like a whole different thing. But like,
right.
What we can do like on like a daily basis is just keep a conversation going, even if you're like, ugh, like why did that person say that dumb thing? Like why? Maybe they just don't know. Not always, but some people just don't know. So
I'm guessing the thoughts of like society and culture kind of like take the front seat with you, because I know you said love and sex and relationship does like maybe internally.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it all just matters. Did you say anything about spirituality and religion? I don't think you did. I think you have so much to say on that you were kind of like,
oh, no.
Love that. We're gonna move on. Like, but do you consider yourself spiritual or religious, and like why?
I would definitely say spiritual. I grew up going to church, a couple different churches, and I don't knock religion the way that I used to, because like whatever way the light gets in, do you know what I mean? But when we start getting into specifics, I think that's where we're kind of like deviating from the path. And the way that it was described to me is like, you know, religion is man-made and spirituality is a direct connection to God. I get a lot out of going to church. Probably chicken in my face right now. I get a lot out of going to church. I can still connect. I can still hear the light. I can see it. Do you know what I mean? But like, I don't necessarily feel like I have to access God that way. And I don't particularly thrive in that environment. Do you know what I mean? Like my God, like, you know, I struggled a lot with God when I first got sober. I remember this girl that I was best friends with, she overdosed on heroin when we were younger. And I went back out and I came back in about a year later. And I was in, this girl had made a comment that like, if she hadn't died, you know, that like all these good things wouldn't have happened to this girl. And I've heard people say those types of things.
That's
and I was
weird.
in a very like moldable place in my life where I just like couldn't grasp onto a God that made sense for me in my day to day. Like, why do I get up? I was just fucking floating. Do you know what I mean? I was just going. And, she said that, and that's truly, I feel like, the day that my awareness and my journey with God started, because I was like, no, I don't want to live in a world where like God is like, no dude, you're done. You know what I mean? Like that I don't want to get up in a world like that God's just gonna be like, well, you've had your fun, I'm gonna take this person away. Or, oh, like, you know, like, I kind of lightly touched on it because I didn't know how hard we were gonna go, but like, I have a lot of trauma in my story. Do you know what I mean? I have sexual abuse, I have physical abuse, I have all sorts of fucking wild shit, and I just couldn't understand what type of God would be so loving, but that would be like, all right, this young child, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna tame it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So my journey with God, you know, evolved in a way that I don't believe in a Santa Claus God. You know, like, if I'm really fucking good and I do everything like to the best of my ability, like, that God's gonna be like, here you go, like, here's a coupon on the house you want. Do you know what I mean? Or like, here's the love of your life. Like, I don't believe that. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
And you know, I had about like 3 years sober, and some wild shit was going on with my health. And I essentially, a lot of the memory blocks that I had, come to find out I had that trauma. What I talked about, I was not aware I had trauma until about 4 or 5 years ago, because my brain had completely dissociated all of that out of my head. You know, so I'm like starting to get this foundation with God, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm like flooded with these physical symptoms, these mental flashbacks. Like, this just, my life got flipped upside down, and like, that's when me and God, like, we became very close friends. Do you know what I mean? Because every day, I mean, a part of my story, like, and a lot of people that know me know this, but I don't really share it, the newer people that come into my life. But in that time frame, you know, I spent a lot of time in hospitals, you know, so having to surrender, you know, being sober, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't drinking anymore. I wasn't doing these things that normally lead us to institutions and whatnot. They told me that if, like, I wanted to ever stand a chance at, like, a normal life, like, I had to go to therapy, and I had to, like, literally learn how to live with all this, like, crazy ass information I had learned. And I would go into these hospitals just, like, terrified, you know what I mean? Being stripped of everything, can't have any sharp objects, like shoelaces. I mean, I've gotten a couple new sweatpants, do you know what I mean? But a lot of my sweatpants don't have string. And it was just me and God to figure out, like, why. I asked the question so often, like, why is this happening to me? Like, what did I do? You know what I mean? When I was like 2 years old to, like, deserve this life.
Yeah.
And where I'm at in a general sense with that now is, I think that, you know, every human being has the choice to either access the light or to give in. And I think that we're all just walking around, making a left, making a right. And at some points we bump into people and they're like, I want the light and I want the light. So we, like, go do light, fun shit. And then I could be in a real good light mood, and they could have had something fucking terrible happen to them, you know, and they're like, nope, we're going to go this way. And I get the choice whether I'm going to react and I'm going to turn that way that they just did, or if I'm going to be like, damn, I remember that. Empathy.
Right. Back to empathy. Sweet. All right. So I know you're eating, but I'm also going to get you to draw.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you know, everywhere. One hand chicken nugget, other hand marker. That's how we're going to do this. So I'm going to get you to pick from these colors right here. And you're going to pick the color that represents your mood right now, and colors that represent your life and you as a person.
Oh.
And then you're going to tell us why you picked the certain colors you picked.
Maybe I'll just take the chicken nuggets and I'll just, like, make a collage and draw.
With ketchup? Oh
ketchup. This trash, I won't. Do I have to give these back right away?
Oh, like, no. If you think you're going to pick more as you go, you can keep them over there.
Okay.
That is a comforting feeling to know you can change your mind.
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Preach. There's just so many colors.
I was thinking about buying, like, another one with like different colors and more variation. We'll see. But I think that's a lot of colors though. People are always like, what's happening?
Just take the whole thing out. All right.
Okay.
I feel decent about this.
Okay. What colors did you pick and why?
So, I love burgundy. It's a solid ass color. But I like dark colors a lot. They're my favorite. But I also like all colors. And I just feel real solid right now, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I also, when I like color or draw in general, I just like use a lot of different colors. Like that's why I picked this bowl. It's like chicken. I don't know if you can see it. It was very pretty and I haven't seen it in Courtney's house before. So I was like, color. So, I don't know.
Okay. So we're going to get started. First question, what makes you the most upset?
Probably lazy people.
Preach.
Like emotionally lazy people.
Double preach.
Like I enjoy a strong week-long nap. I do. And like dipping out on responsibilities for self-care. Do you know what I mean? But like people that can like be better, that like refuse to be better, not because they can't, because like I'm a hot ass mess. Like I don't know if you can see, but my lipstick is crooked right now.
You can't see it.
And I'm eating chicken nuggets. Like I'm a mess. You know what I mean? But like I do my best. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like people that just like, I don't want this to come out wrong, but like I feel like people think, wow, it's raining really hard. People think because I've gone through so much shit that I like think everyone else has to go through that to like be a real ass person. Like, no. You could literally, the worst thing that could have ever happened to you is like you dropped your milk when you were walking in your house and I would still love you. But like if you can be better, especially like if it's at the cost of like other people, people that are just fucking lazy and like don't give, like I'm late a lot, but I try. You know what I mean? Like motive is like a big fucking deal for me. And like when people just like, I'm not even saying you have to go through something traumatic, but like if you don't have any reason or like excuse as to why you suck, like that shit like enrages me. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
I love that. So what excites you more than anything?
I love flowers, man. I fucking love flowers. I love weddings too. I went to a wedding this past weekend of a good friend and it was just like so beautiful and I didn't have to work it or do anything. I was just a guest.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I mean when he was like crying when like the bride was like coming down the aisle and I was like, God, I love this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like people told me that like I should be like a therapist and like all this shit because I'm really good at talking and like they may be right. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I do have the ability to like help people or whatever. But like I just want to like be where the love is. Like my job literally I'm in the wedding industry, the event industry like more right now. Like putting in all this work just to like make a magical day happen. You know what I mean? Like whether it's a birthday party or it's something like dumb, like that's the shit, dude, that like when I was sitting in those hospitals writing in my shitty notebook, like these notebooks, I have so many of these that I've like colored on. You know, I would just be like, man, like one day I just like, I want to live a life that like kind of matters. Like I'll live in like a shitty apartment and eat ramen every day if I can't afford it. And like now like I get to like make other people's like day or like moment like happen. And I just like really fucking like being there for people and just like making people feel not alone. Like,
oh my God, yes.
That's just like, that's just like literally what like makes my like soul churn is just like seeing other people with like that light kind of dimmed. Lazy people too. If I see a lazy person, I would challenge them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like getting people to wake back up if they've ever been awake and had to fall asleep for whatever reason because they couldn't take it anymore. or just helping people wake up in general. Like, fucking love that shit.
Okay, good answer.
Good talk.
What are you most afraid of?
What am I most afraid of? I'm like not afraid of death at all. I'm like the opposite. Like I decided to stay, you know, so like life is more scary for me. I'm like real scared of commitment in a lot of areas because I don't want to let people down when they depend on you. And I'm scared of being abandoned. You asked me what upsets me, didn't you?
No, what are you afraid of?
Oh.
Yeah, you're doing good. This is great.
Yeah, just like being like abandoned and like everything that I do, because like I try really, really hard like every day at like literally everything that I do. Like, I know I look like a hot mess, but like I blend in pretty well with society now. And it was not too long ago that like I was in those hospitals like literally unable to like move or like bathe myself or like speak. And I'm scared that I'm surrounded by so much love and so many friends and stuff now, but like, you know, I'm just scared that one day like I won't have that and I'll be alone. So I think that's one of the reasons why I try to like make sure that other people feel heard, even if it's like in small ways.
For sure. What's the hardest conversation you've ever had?
Probably when I had to tell my mom what happened to me when I was a kid.
Was this years later you had to tell her, or was it like the first time you attempted to as a child, or? Like,
so the way that my like mental breakdown worked is like once like the floodgate opened, it was like about like a 5 or 6 month period where I just like everything kind of like clicked. It's like when you come out of a blackout or like a brownout, do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh fuck, I found that receipt. I remember being there. Do you know what I mean? And the first, so it's kind of fucked up. So I was in a hospital and we had like access to Facebook. It was like not a regular hospital. It was like the #2 trauma hospital in the United States. And, you know, they have like family meetings and you have to like talk to your family. And I knew what had happened to me at this point, and I was too scared to like tell my mom. So I Facebook messaged my mom and I apologized. I was like, I need to tell you this, but like I can't like speak, you know? And to even just fucking typing that shit, do you know what I mean? And like being so scared of like, what if she doesn't believe me, you know what I mean? Or like, what if she has a mental breakdown because of it? Because like knowing that like you didn't protect your child is like, I can't imagine, like I don't have a kid. That's one of the things I was saying. Like I don't get to assume that I know what that feels like. Do you know what I mean? And to know that you can't protect your kid, like that was like a really difficult conversation. We ended up having to talk about it in person. But I mean, like if I could have ripped my skin off and like floated through the ceiling, like just been like, can we just never talk about this again?
Yeah.
I would have.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. Nice drama. Sorry, I'm so awkward with this.
No,
what am I
totally
fucking
fine.
drawing?
I'm awkward too.
What is this?
It's amazing work.
Is it? It's kind of ugly, but it's fine.
Stop it. I'm sorry you're drawing badly. Okay. Weird habits. What are they?
Oh, weird habits. Oh, God. I don't know. Weird? Like,
or just any habits. A lot of people freak out because they're like, I don't think what I do is weird, and I get that. Like, but what is?
Oh no, I
something
do
that
lots
you
of
feel-
weird shit.
Okay. Because some people are like, I don't do anything weird, and I'm like, wow, like my life is weird. So.
Oh, I mean, I
that.
keep my nail clippers in my car, and I like clip my nails like while I'm driving sometimes. I don't know if that's like a weird habit. I'm really weird about eating food in a car. There's like a system that needs to occur. So like, all right, say you pull up, you get some Taco Bell, because I love Taco Bell. Everything comes out of the bag immediately because that is now our trash bag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have a platter. That is literally what the front of your car is for, if you didn't know. And I mean, I'm weird about that shit. Like, if I am being forced to eat while driving, and I'm in the passenger seat, I will open the glove box. I will take everything out of the fucking glove box, and I will lay my, like, containers, you know what I mean, like, out. And, like, we gotta have napkins. Like, it's a whole thing. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of weird, I guess. I literally always have a backpack with me. It's my new backpack.
I do love that backpack. It's a good backpack.
It's, like, kind of, like, I guess not, like, the most womanly thing to, like,
No, but that's
carry a backpack.
No, what? No.
I don't know.
even do that.
I wore a backpack to the wedding this past weekend. It was a really nice backpack, but, like, I just need to be prepared. I have a lot of things.
I probably need a backpack.
We'll get you a backpack. Make Dan buy you one.
Oh my god, I would love that. That's wild, and that was perfect. What's the nicest thing you've ever done? You do a lot of nice things, so this might be.
Yeah, I was
though.
thinking about it because, like, I literally try and, like, I think if I had to define myself, I'd be a fucking nice person. Like, literally what fuels me is, like, making sure people, like, don't feel alone, and, like, just doing, like, small acts of kindness, and, like, giving people gifts, and just, like, fucking making eye contact with someone and being like, yo, I know you're not happy you fucking woke up today, but, like, your hair looks nice. Like,
right.
And
it's
like,
beautiful, so.
Right, you fucking matter. But, like, if I really had to, like, I don't think I can pick any specific, because nice things, like, fuel me. And when I was, like, trying to think about this question, like, the nicest act that I do, I think, is, like, exist next to, like, crazy people when there's, like, nothing to say. And, like, what I mean by that is, like, I can't tell you how many people I've sat with, like, when they wanted to, like, die. You know what I mean? And, like, I've bought people shit. I've, like, thrown fucking parties. Like, I love a strong party. Like, I love giving flowers. I love whatever. But, like, I mean, the calls that I've gotten at, like, 2 a.m., like, I can't fucking do it. Like, I can't do, like, one more fucking night. And we just chill. We just, like, go on, like, days when, like, I had fucking work the next day. You know what I mean? Or, like, I didn't have the time. I didn't have the money. Like, I ate less. I still am, like, guilty of, like, moving my money around to, like, do shit for people. But, like, just, like, existing next to people when they, like, want to fucking die it's really hard, and a lot of people can't do it. And I don't necessarily know if I feel it's a responsibility to do it because people did it for me. But, like, that shit's fucking hard. Like, it takes a toll on you just, like, laying next to somebody. Like, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm not gonna necessarily, I have held people, like, while they fell asleep. Do you know what I mean? But, like, just fucking, like, existing in that space, like, I think that's probably, like, what sticks out to me as, like, the nicest thing that I've done and that I do for people, because it comes at a high cost. Like, I don't really lose anything by, like, doing, like, nice acts for people. I don't register it as, like, a loss of time to, like, drive an extra drive, like, an extra mile or, like, do these things. But, like, that shit, like, definitely takes a toll on me. But, like, I think it's nice.
Yes. Okay. What are you self-conscious about, if anything?
Oh, God. I don't like talking about my shit. I don't. Like I said kind of before, like I was told, I remember sitting in that fucking hospital room and I was like, yo, what do I have to do to like not live here? Mm-hmm. And they were like, you have to talk about your shit, right? So like I think it's like less judged, like being like mentally ill is like less judged than it was, but like that's a part of my fucking story. But still sometimes I'm embarrassed by like saying, like literally fucking saying this shit like on camera. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm embarrassed that like I fit into that like category of like what people think is like crazy, to be hospitalized. Like my trauma, like when people talk about like their families or like their exes or like, you know, shit, like I get embarrassed like about my story. So I think that's like, we were talking about like being upset and embarrassed, right?
Like what you're self-conscious about?
Yeah, I'm fucking going through all the questions. Yeah, dude, I'm just like, I like to like only really look forward. I don't look in the mirror a lot. I don't like to like list out like my life because it just like gives me like anxiety to like think about who I was, think about the things that I've been through, look at pictures. Like I just chase like the light and like the difference to just like keep evolving. So yeah, kind of embarrassed about who I've been, but I look for the future whatever. I'm fucking it up.
No, you're doing great. All right, answer this question. What's missing?
Ew.
Did you say O or ill?
Ew. What's missing?
What's missing?
I feel like I want to say some real emo shit.
Say whatever you need to say for you.
I really miss certain people that woke me up. Like when I think about missing something, I hear that word. There are people that I've met and that I've loved and that I just like wanted like more time with. No, they're not all dead. Like some of them are. Do you know what I mean? But I just like miss those like feelings and those people and those like time frames in my life where I was like evolving drastically. And I have a large hole in my soul. Sorry, I use humor to fucking deflect everything. I have a huge missing piece of me that I'm like very aware is like not there anymore and will never be there, but it doesn't fill. But like I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Mama.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
Story.
Yeah. About anything you want.
Fucking story. What the fuck am I drawing? A story.
It's a sea urchin.
Is it? Maybe.
I mean, obviously.
Fucking coloring weird shit. I don't know, dude. You gotta give me like say a word, and I just like booked really hard.
Hilarious.
Oh no, I don't know. Everything is just so funny. Literally, my life is just fucking okay. Who is Jenny on a spiritual level? Okay, fucking late, a hot mess, but we laugh at everything. And we're real sad, but we're cute.
So since you're blanking, and this has been a long interview and your chicken nuggets are getting cold, I'm going to ask you what you have to say to the world.
Be better. No, but fucking figure your shit out. Like, everyone has shit and sadness and, like, fear and happiness and love and joy. And just, like, the people that bother you, why? Like, investigate that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had a real frustrating resentment at somebody that I could not get away from. I mean, everything that this person did, like, deeply disturbed me. Like, he would laugh and I would cringe. You know what I mean? And I realized that I could not escape this situation. So I decided to, like, think, what could he possibly be going through? Or, like, why does he think this is, like, okay? Do you know what I mean? To, like, live and do these things. And, like, I am now able to exist in a space with this person. You know what I mean? And just, like, you know, when it comes to, like, being, like, super sad, like the super dark shit, just, like, it passes. The situation's past. You know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, gonna be, like, forever sad. Not to be dramatic, do you know what I mean? But, like, the way I function and I go to work and I live a good life, do you know what I mean? But, like, my trauma's never gonna go away, and we all have trauma. We all have shit that has, like, drastically affected our ways of thinking and, like, has ripped something out of our hands, do you know what I mean? And don't turn right, you know what I mean? Don't get fucking bitter and just be the person that, like, screams at somebody because, like, they're not driving fast enough. Like,
oh my God, that's me.
I literally, to my core, like, the biggest tool that I have is I imagine that whoever is going through the worst thing I've ever been through. That's not always true, do you know what I mean? But it gives me a second to, like, slow down and be like, like, let me, like, not make this shit all about me and, like, see if I can connect to this person briefly, you know?
Yes.
Like, yeah, just fucking be nice. Look people in the eye, you know? We're all out here trying and drawing ugly pictures. I have no idea what this is.
Well, now it's time for you to show us what you drew.
Oh, can we not? I don't know. I'm just doing, like, a little color wheel thing.
That looks cool, though.
Okay.
From the camera, I mean, a lot of people show their stuff and they're like, like what I drew. And I'm like, that looks great.
I don't know.
Like, so you don't even know what it is?
No, I'm just like...
I love it, though.
I'll sell it to you for $5.
Great, sold.
I'm just kidding. 6.
Sold in my notebook, sold.
Yeah, no, I like colors.
That looks bomb.
I'm kind of gay and I like women.
I love it.
But, you know, rainbow.
It's like an atom. That is like us. That is like connection
energy.
and energy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, as we talked, I just...
You know, I'm making a coffee table book out of all these drawings. Right?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's gonna be so cute. I can't wait to drink coffee and eat vegetables if you want it.
Yes.
Raw vegetables.
Just raw vegetables.
Fucking
raw
chew
vegetables.
ice.
Thank you so much for doing this. I love you so much.
This is Jenny in the flesh.
Thank you.